Tjena! Have you ever wondered why the girl ate the cookie? Well, maybe not in English, but you're about to learn why in Swedish. In all seriousness, I may or may not have lied to you in my last video when I told you that adverbs such as inte, aldrig, and alltid always came after the verb in a sentence. This is because some sentences have several verbs in separate clauses. Depending on the type of clause, the adverb may come before or after the verb. In case you don't know, a clause is basically a subject and a predicate sandwiched together. It differs from a sentence in that there could be several clauses in one sentence. For example, the girl ate the cookie is a sentence with one clause. The subject, the girl, is doing the action. The action itself is ate. The object of the sentence is the cookie. The predicate is the action and the object put together. So, the girl is the subject and ate the cookie is the predicate. But let's expand on this sentence. For instance, the girl ate the cookie because she was hungry. This sentence contains two clauses. The girl ate the cookie and because she was hungry. The subject and predicate remain the same for the first, as shown in the previous example, but for the second, the subject is she and the predicate is was hungry. But what do you notice about these two clauses? Well, the first one, the girl ate the cookie, can be a sentence on its own, but the second, because she was hungry, is not a true complete sentence on its own. Thus, the first clause is independent, while the second is dependent, since the first does not need any more information for it to be a complete sentence, but the second does. Think about it. If your friend walked up to you and said, "Because she was hungry," out of nowhere, you would have no idea what they were talking about. You might wonder, because she was hungry, what? What did she do? On the other hand, if he or she said, "The girl ate the cookie," you would immediately understand what happened and what the girl did. Thus, since "because she was hungry" cannot be left alone, it is called a dependent clause. And since "the girl ate the cookie" can be left alone, it is called independent. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're supposed to be teaching us Swedish, not about a girl eating a cookie. Well, don't worry, this all ties in. You see, in Swedish, the adverb comes after the verb in an independent clause. In a dependent clause, though, it comes before the verb. So first of all, let's translate the example sentence into Swedish. Flickan åt kakan för att hon var hungrig. The girl ate the cookie because she was hungry. Can you pick out the clauses now? They're exactly the same as in English. Flickan åt kakan is still the independent clause, and för att hon var hungrig remains the dependent clause. Now, this doesn't really make a difference for you unless you insert some adverbs in there. And since adverb placement is the topic of this video, let's negate both clauses. Flickan åt inte kakan för att hon inte var hungrig. The girl did not eat the cookie because she was not hungry. Notice where inte, not, is placed in each clause. In the first clause, the independent clause, it is placed directly after the verb åt, the past tense of äta, which means to eat. In the second clause, the dependent clause, inte is placed directly before the verb var. Why? I don't know, but that's how it is. So remember that in independent clauses, such as flickan åt kakan, the girl ate the cookie, the adverb will come after the verb. In dependent clauses, on the other hand, such as för att hon var hungrig, because she was hungry, the adverb always comes before the verb. To make things easier, there are some key terms that indicate dependent clauses that you should memorize. One of them we've already gone over, för att, which means because. Clauses that start with att, immediately followed by a subject, such as in the sentence, Du sa att han gillade katter, you said that he liked cats, are also dependent and thus require that any adverbs come before the verb. Other examples of independent clauses include ones that start with which means if, and när, which means when. So hopefully now you'll be able to pick out the independent and dependent clauses of sentences and thus be able to use adverbs correctly in Swedish grammar. Thank you for your attention, and I hope I was able to improve your Swedish skills a little. We'll reinforce this all in a later episode to make sure that you understand the grammatical functions we've gone over today. Ha en bra vecka!